Welcome to all in our today's lecture, that is we are in the chapter of chemical thermodynamics. Now in last lecture we have seen this point, that is enthalpy of phase transition. Now in continuation with this point, in that point we have seen the 3 points, that is enthalpy of fusion, enthalpy of vaporization, enthalpy of sublimation, and opposite process of there also we have seen enthalpy of freezing enthalpy, as well as the enthalpy of vaporization, condensation we have seen in our last lecture. Now in enthalpy of sublimation, the example which I have given is in front of you. Here in enthalpy of sublimation, the two processes we have seen. This is the direct conversion. But if we split this step into 2 points, here H2O solid, that is ice, directly converts it into corresponding vapor state. But here we have split this in 2 parts, that is H2O solid is converted into first liquid, and liquid gets converted into gases. Means in 2 steps we have divided this direct conversion. Okay. And at the same time, the magnitudes which you have got, they are also added, and you are getting this much, that is 51.08 kilojoule per mole. So the equation for this conversion we can write like this: delta H sublimation is the addition of delta H fusion plus delta H vaporization. Means by adding these two enthalpies you will get the enthalpy of sublimation. So this is the required equation for this above conversion. Okay. Now after this point we will move to the next point, that is enthalpy for atomic and molecular changes. So this is a very important point in this chapter. As we have seen for enthalpy for different phase transition, this is for with the their corresponding temperature when changes. All these processes will take place. But here, when atomic and molecular will changes when takes place, in that case also we have to study their corresponding enthalpy. Okay. Now in that point, first of all we will start with the enthalpy of ionization. Enthalpy of ionization. All of you know about this point, that is ionization. What is meant by ionization? We will see first of all. When an element we will consider, in that case it is full of electrons, and when we tries to remove one electron from it, then that element gets ionized. For our sake of simplicity, we will consider the sodium. Its electronic configuration will be 281. In this case, it has no charge. But when one electron is removed from this sodium, then its electronic configuration will become 280. Means this sodium gets ionized. Okay. So this is the what I can say the ionization process. Now here we will see the enthalpy of ionization for this process with changes. We will see here. First of all, we have to state it in very perfect manner. So it is the change or the enthalpy change accompanying the removal of an electron from one mole of gaseous atom, then that enthalpy we are calling as the enthalpy of ionization. And the representation of its enthalpy is like this: delta H ion. Means for the ionization process, the enthalpy required for its notation we are using this notation, that is delta H ion. Okay. Now let us we will consider a one example. The example which we are going to see is nothing but the sodium. Now in statement I have stated that atom should be in gaseous state. So sodium atom, when it converts it into corresponding sodium ion with the loss of one electron, that process is called as what we can say ionization, and the enthalpy for this ionization is nothing but 494 kilojoule per mole. That is delta H ion for this process is nothing but this much value, that is 494 kilojoule per mole. Means the equation which signifies when 1 mole of gas phase atomic sodium ionizes into gas phase sodium ion. Again this will be in gaseous state. Okay. The enthalpy change is 494 kilojoule per mole, which I have written there. The same amount of heat would be required to ionize 1 mole of Na atom. Okay. Again, after this conversion, opposite to that of ionization, another process will be there. That process we are calling it as a electron gain enthalpy. Electron gain enthalpy. The notation for this enthalpy change we are writing like this: delta H Eg means electron gain enthalpy. Okay. Now here for this conversion we will take an example of chlorine. Chlorine is the electronegative element and it has to stabilize. So for its stabilization it will gain 1 electron from sodium. Opposite to this process will take place. So the enthalpy, or we can also say the electron gain enthalpy, how we can state, is nothing but the electron gain enthalpy of, or in another hand we can say which gives the enthalpy change when 1 mole of gas phase atom of an element accepts 1 electron from gaseous state. That is, when chlorine, which is already present in gaseous state, when it gains 1 electron, then it will convert it into corresponding Cl minus. Okay, means during this conversion or process the enthalpy will be negative. Why it should be negative? Because during the ionization we are supplying heat for this conversion, and here for the gain of this electron the enthalpy it would be minus. So its value will be minus 349 kilojoule, minus 349 kilojoule per mole. So this much amount of enthalpy would be required for electron gain, that is delta HEG. For this conversion the enthalpy will be minus 349 kilojoule per mole. In this case what happened? The chlorine, which is having the electronic configuration 287, it is not stable in its own position, so it gains 1 electron, and after its conversion the stable electronic configuration we are getting is 288. So for this conversion we are measuring the electron gain enthalpy and it would be minus 349 kilojoule per mole. So this is the opposite process of that, what we can say enthalpy of ionization. Okay, and after this point we will move to the next point, that is enthalpy of atomization. Second point, enthalpy of atomization. The notation will be delta H atom. Okay. So how we can define this enthalpy of atomization? Enthalpy of atomization, the enthalpy change accompanying the dissociation of one mole of gaseous substance into its corresponding atoms. All of you know about the different examples of diatomic gases: H2, N2, O2, okay, F2. All these are nothing but the, what you can say, diatomic gases. Means the enthalpy or the heat or the energy which is required for the conversion of this H2 into its corresponding H atom, single atom, that enthalpy is nothing but the enthalpy of atomization, and that we will see with the considering one example, that is chlorine gas. We will take for our simplicity. When 1 mole of Cl2, which is in gaseous state, when it dissociates into corresponding Cl atom, and this Cl atom, it would be single now. So for this dissociation, we are measuring its corresponding delta H atomization, and it would be for this conversion 242 kilojoule per mole. 242 kilojoule per mole. So this much amount of enthalpy would be required for this conversion, that is for conversion of Cl2 diatomic gas to corresponding single chlorine atoms. Okay. This is nothing but what we can say the enthalpy of atomization. And again, if we consider the another example of gas, that is methane, CH4, which is in gaseous state, when it dissociates into corresponding atoms, that is C plus 4H, means for this conversion again we are measuring delta H atomization, and the amount of enthalpy which is required is 1660 kilojoule per mole. So this much amount of enthalpy would be required for the conversion of CH4 into its corresponding carbon and hydrogen. Okay. So these are in now atomic states. Okay. So this conversion will be takes place at this much enthalpy. Means from CH4, one carbon as well as 4 single hydrogen atoms will be separated. So this is the enthalpy required for that conversion. Okay. Now after these 2 points, we will move to the next point, that is enthalpy of solution. The next point which we are going to see is nothing but the enthalpy of solution. All of you know about what is meant by solution and how it is we are going to be prepared. In solution chapter you have already got the details of this solution. How we are making solution when a solid substance, when we are getting dissolved into its corresponding solvent, then we will get corresponding solution. In solution again, you know about the two various parts, that is solute as well as solvent. And the example which I have told to you is nothing but solid and liquid. For this, you are going to, if we are going to make the solution, what you have to do, solid substance when it dissolves in corresponding liquid, then you will get its corresponding solution. And we are measuring its enthalpy. So the notation is very important. It would be delta H solution. So this is the notation which we are going to use for the calculation of enthalpy of solution. Okay. Now we will start this point with its statement. The enthalpy of solution is the enthalpy change in a process when 1 mole of substance, solid substance, gets dissolved in its corresponding specified amount of solvent. That enthalpy is nothing but the enthalpy of solution. Now this process or this enthalpy of solution we will study with the taking one good example, that is NaCl. Now NaCl, which is in solid state, when it dissolves into corresponding its aqueous solvent, then the reversible process will take place. NaCl, its corresponding aqueous solution, and the enthalpy of solution for this conversion, it will be 4 kilojoule per mole. 4 kilojoule per mole. Okay. So this is the overall conversion. NaCl, when it is in solid state, when it dissolves in its corresponding aqueous solvent, then reversible reaction will take place. We are getting NaCl in aqueous condition, that is sodium chloride solution. And for this conversion, the enthalpy will be plus 4 kilojoule per mole. Okay. So this is the what you can say enthalpy of solution. And again, now we are going to see the enthalpy of solution at infinite dilution. Suppose we want to make the enthalpy of we want to calculate the enthalpy of solution at infinite dilution for this NaCl. Then what you have to do? We have to dissolve. We have to take the aqueous solution solvent at infinite level. That is the change when 1 mole of substance is dissolved in infinite amount of solvent. In that case, what you have to do? The aqueous solvent which we are going to use, it should be infinite amount. Then you can calculate the enthalpy of solution at infinite. Okay. Now an ionic compound dissolves in water in 2 steps. Ionic compound, all of you know about that ionic compound. For our simplicity, we are taking that ionic compound as a Mx. Okay. Now this Mx is a solid substance, and when they get ionizes with the charge transfer, M plus X minus. You are familiar with this conversion. Mx is an ionic compound. When it get ionizes, enthalpy of ionization in that we have seen that point. When M either donates electrons or gains, then it will convert into its corresponding ion form. So Mx, when it ionizes as M plus and X minus, that process we are calling it as a ionization, and the enthalpy change for this step is we are calling it as a crystal lattice enthalpy, that is delta HL. This is nothing but what you can say, for this conversion or for this change, means when a salt or we can say any ionic substance, when it ionizes into its corresponding ions, and for this change the enthalpy we are going to be calculate is nothing but the crystal lattice enthalpy. You should keep in mind this point, crystal lattice enthalpy we are measuring in this case. Okay. and it would be always positive. Why positive? Because the heat or the enthalpy or the energy which is required for this conversion. Okay. Now in second case, this ionic compound which you want to dissolve in its corresponding aqueous solvent, then for that conversion we are measuring the enthalpy of hydration. Enthalpy of hydration. Now we are going to see delta H hydration. This enthalpy now we are going to be calculate. Suppose we have M plus and we are going to combine it with solvent water, then we are getting its corresponding complex, or in complex form we can say. So this is the ions which when combines with water we are getting this product, that is MH2O X plus the enthalpy change for this process means the ions are hydrated with water molecule surrounding them. All of you know about when ions, when we hydrated it with water, then we are getting its corresponding the form like this, that is MH2O X plus. Okay, so for this conversion the enthalpy change for this step it will be always negative, that is which is called as the enthalpy of hydration, and this process is also takes place for this negative ion, that is X minus plus X. Now here for our simplicity we are taking here Y H2O. These are the number of moles of water which we are going to take. Here X H2O Y, here negative sign. Okay. So this is nothing but what the enthalpy of hydration, and the enthalpy of hydration which helps us for the calculation of enthalpy of solution, and the enthalpy of solution is the summation of crystal lattice enthalpy plus enthalpy of hydration. These two enthalpies are very important for the calculation of enthalpy of solution. So here enthalpy of solution is nothing but the sum of both these two quantities. So we can write here delta H solution is equal to delta H L plus delta H hydration. Both is in summation of both these enthalpies. Now for NaCl we will see its corresponding value, that is enthalpy of solution for NaCl we will calculate. So before going to that you should know about these two values for NaCl. Okay, that is for NaCl the enthalpy, crystal lattice enthalpy, it would be plus 790 delta HL. For NaCl it would be plus 790 kilojoule per mole, and the hydration enthalpy it would be minus 786 delta H hydration. For NaCl it would be minus 786 kilojoule per mole. So if you add both these quantities, that is delta H solution for NaCl, if you want to calculate, then you have to substitute these two values, that is plus 790 minus 786. Then after doing this process you will get this much amount, that is the final answer, 4 kilojoule per mole. Now in this equation what you have calculated? You have calculated the enthalpy of solution for NaCl. From this above equations, what you have got? The conclusion is that the enthalpy of solution which you are going to calculate is nothing but the summation of enthalpy of crystal lattice enthalpy as well as enthalpy of hydration. So all these conversions you have got in our today's lecture. So these are very important according to your theory exam. Suppose in your theory exam the question will be asked like this: state the enthalpy of solution. In that case, what you have to write? You have to take the example of NaCl as well as crystal lattice enthalpy and enthalpy of hydration you have to define, and you have to show that with this equation. Okay, then you will get the enthalpy of solution for NaCl. Now in your theory exam this question may be asked for 3 marks or either 2 marks. So this is very important according to your theory exam. And enthalpy of phase transition, in that case you have to state the enthalpy of fusion, vaporization, sublimation. If the question will be included in long answer questions, all this you have to state. Okay. And if the question will be asked for 2 marks, that is only enthalpy of vaporization or enthalpy of sublimation or enthalpy of fusion, in that case you have to give or you have to mention the specific answer for it. Okay. So this is all about in our today's lecture. Thank you very much.